You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
All set for your flight?
Yep, I've got everything I need. Eye mask, neck pillow, T-Mobile, headphones.
Wait, T-Mobile?
You bet. Free in-flight Wi-Fi. 15% off all Hilton brands. I never go anywhere without T-Mobile. Same goes from a water bottle, chewing gum, nail clippers,
okay,
passport.
I'm gonna leave you to it.
Find out how you can experience travel better at T-Mobile.com/travel.
Qualifying plan required. Wi-Fi were available on select U.S. airlines. Deposit and Hilton Honors membership required for 15% discount. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by Venmo.
Before we get to Cam Jordan, I've been wanting to talk to this guy for a long time, Stugotz.
One of the really good guys in the NFL.
An immortal.
Yep.
An immortal. Now you're saying yes?
That's a bit much.
That's a bit much?
For Cam Jordan, a bit much, yeah.
A legend?
I'm not going to say it when Cam's on, but I'm saying
he's
it to
already
you right
on.
Now. Oh,
man. He's a menace of a man. He's good at everything. He's good at podcasting. He's good at sacking your quarterback. He's good at Walter Payton Man of the Year. And I want to start off by doing this. I want to ask Cam Jordan if this is allowed. You've got the Philadelphia mayor coming out here, and she is trying to do the Eagles chant. And I think it's the first rival that we have to one of the most famous sounds in our show's history. Listen to what the Philadelphia mayor did here while trying to spell Eagles.
Let me hear you all say, E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Bird!
What's the problem?
Cam, what are your thoughts there on what just happened there in Philadelphia?
I got nothing on that one. I'd say big time players show up in big time moments to make big time plays.
Yeah.
And sometimes the lights get a little bright. Sometimes you miss that ball. You know, we've seen it happen over at the Dallas Stadium earlier this year in the season. So I'm just going to say to keep it in the division, the lights got a little bright.
Is that as bad as one of the most historic sounds in show history where a Miami City Councilwoman tried to introduce Dwayne Wade after winning the championship, and this is how it went?
He's calm, collected, has a will to win because his name, of course, is Wade Jones.
The people clapping gets me every time.
The one stray. Who that is?
The one stray.
Who that is?
Well, again, when you face these big time moments, can you succeed? Are you put in the best position to succeed? Maybe she caught the wrong notes. You know, maybe she saw the potential in Pelicans. Herb Jones and was thinking about the way he plays perimeter defense a lot like a prime D Wade. So
maybe
that's
the timelines don't. No, you're very kind, compassionate to failure in big moments. You are a compassionate person as someone who understands not everyone gets to succeed. Hell, your game has had a lot of success in it, but it can't come with a lot of success unless there's also failure. Like you don't get to be successful all the time when you're a 14-year veteran and you're an 8-time Pro Bowler and still some guy will embarrass you on the next 3 plays.
Absolutely. I was going to say some guy embarrassed me on that app called X, but when you think about football, yeah, you could play 65, 75, almost 80 snaps, and if you walk away with the sack, in your mind, you have dominated the offensive lineman every snap of the game. And on the flip side, you could play 65, 75, 80 snaps and not come out with a sack, but have a hell of a game, be as stout as they come in the run, and the opposite lineman feel like he dominated you the whole game. So it's all about perception, So just like the mayor down in Miami, she thought she finished it strong. And sometimes, you don't. Sometimes you got to look at the glass like it's half full. Just, we say you probably need to have a better mentor.
Forgive me for the interruption. I do believe, if people do not know, that this is one of the greatest pass rushers of this generation. To do it 14 years is a bit of a seismic accomplishment that I don't even understand how the human body does it. To do that and also be Walter Payton Man of the Year because you're intent on using the platform for good is an unusual set of things that you have put together that is wildly impressive. What are you proudest of?
Man. I'm obviously going to push legacy. I'm overly proud that I've got a 6-time Pro Bowl Vikings Ring of Honor dad, as well as a 9-year-old son who, always wants to work just as hard as his dad did, just like I was in his shoes trying to work just as hard as my dad did. I'm excited and proud, extremely proud of my Cam Jordan Foundation and the way that we flipped the name this year from God Is Love to Cam Jordan Foundation, raised $250,000, which will now go towards scholarships for the next generation. We'll go towards scholarships for kids' college tuition this upcoming school year.
You'll have to forgive me for this, but this was a question that it's a bad transition, but it's a question we were asking before you came on here.
It needs to be asked. Yeah.
So you can't go from like, what are you proud of to I'm sorry I have to ask this.
But we have to.
We can.
Okay.
And see.
You're right. Because that is a sweet answer, and you seem like a sweet man when you're not dismembering quarterbacks. But the thing that Billy wanted to bring up from earlier in the show is we were trying to figure out which tight end would be easiest and hardest to kill. Like if
there's context
with our bare hands, you can't use.
Well, no, you could trick them. Okay, Cam, here's the deal.
Did you see those hands?
Yes, those hands.
We were talking yesterday about the immortals of the game, and naturally, Mark Andrews came up. And then we were talking about which tight ends would actually be immortal by the definition of the word, and who would be the hardest to kill or trap, and who might be the easiest.
Yeah, the hardest kill would be tight end Steve Jordan of the 6-time Pro Bowl of the Minnesota Vikings. Right. I don't foresee the Oedipus situation ever happening, like where I have to kill my own father. That's tough.
Right.
The easiest kill would probably. Man, if you look at the pantheon of tight ends.
We thought we could trick Gronk.
Yeah, like if you went
to
anything,
the forest,
including
death.
Yeah. Like I could probably clean kill Gronk. Like out the conscious, like conscious free. I'd be like, hey, Gronk, there's your favorite meal behind this door. And it'd just be like a cliffhanger, Like all you have to do is jump through this layer of balloons and you get $1 million.
It's a well thought out answer. I
mean, like we thought of a scenario where Gronk goes into a forest and all of a sudden he's hanging upside down with his foot stuck to a vine because he saw something.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a potential to cleanly do it, I'd probably the only way I'd counter that would maybe be Atlanta Falcons Kyle Pitts. If you throw him in a pit and then tell him to rise up because they never do.
Whoa! He hates the Falcons.
Somehow meaner than actually talking about murdering someone.
Yeah, that's wild to think about. Hey, all the good that I do for my foundation, and then throw in an easy kill situation.
Yes, he is great with kids, but also he just told the American listening public that the way he would kill Gronk is a layer of balloons that would lead to a cliff.
That would do it, though.
And he's right. That's exactly how you would get him. You just throw a football through a layer of balloons.
He's been waiting for that question his entire life.
No, I'd say things like he would be inspired to go full force because that's what kind of guy he is. He's a full throttle type of individual that played from snap to whistle. So all you have to do is say, hey, there's a touchdown on the other side of this door, and I just feel like he would go get it. With the confidence and the swagger, if you will, of knowing that he can get things done. I'm just going to reiterate with the confidence and the swag.
Yes, there it is.
If you will.
Look at him.
Well
He
done.
is a man. He
Yes.
is a man who sweats and needs to smell good.
Cam, we've highlighted obviously all the great things that you do and how you don't actually want to murder people. Have you ever said sorry after sacking a quarterback?
Never. No, I almost said never have I ever. That's not true. I've only felt bad one time in my entire existence of being a defensive end from the time I was 15 till now 35. And it was against the Denver Broncos COVID year when they were like 17 quarterbacks down and they hired a quarterback like off the street a week before. And I sacked him and I didn't really want to, but I did. Like I needed to sack him, but I felt bad and I looked to the sidelines. I was like, why would you bring him out here?
Why are you making me do this?
What is the name? Who was it? Do you remember the name? You just felt bad for him?
No, he was a really hard-working individual.
Oh boy! Oh no! Was it Trevor Simeon? I mean,
no. He literally, I think they literally picked him off. I think the story was he might have been bagging groceries weeks prior.
Oh.
Kurt Warner,
and then picked
Kurt
him up.
Warner, the opposite of Kurt Warner.
Kendall Hinton went 1 for 9 for 13 yards and 2 picks, was sacked once in a 31-3 loss to the New Orleans Saints.
That's your guy, Cam, right?
I'm telling you, I felt bad. I wish I could have been a critical component. I wish I could have mentored him after. Just like the Old Spice that has a mentorship program that you can learn more about at www.oldspice.com.
Cam, you veteran. All right, fine.
Let him do it.
All right, Cam, listen and subscribe to Off the Edge with Cam Jordan from the NFL Podcast Network. And January is mentorship month. Visit oldspice.com/School of Swagger because it is why he's here.
So I looked up Kendall Hinton, and when you look him up on Wikipedia, it starts with is an American professional football wide receiver.
Yeah.
He played quarterback in college, so they were so down that they
technically not a sack. I mean, of a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Again, I felt bad, and that's the only one I've ever felt bad about.
Wow.
Would you say the multiple times I've sacked Tom Brady? Absolutely not. Would you say how I sacked Eli Manning? He deserved it. Would you say the 8 or 9 times I've sacked Cam Newton when we were of the same draft class? Absolutely not. It is the best draft class ever to exist. And no, I didn't feel bad. But would you say, maybe the 23 times I sacked Matt Ryan over the career, which is the most between one defensive end ever, between a defensive end and a quarterback? For sure not.
Do you remember all the sacks with Matt Ryan? Which one was your favorite?
Some would say a 4-sack night on a Thanksgiving Thursday night game where I ate a turkey leg on their field. Closed out a 2-minute like the last possession with a sack.
They never rise up, right?
Something. I think they were trying to pump in their crowd noise at that time, or maybe that was a little bit after.
Some would say.
Yeah, some
would say. Allegedly proven.
Since the season has ended, have you caught Tom Brady broadcasting at all? Because we had Katie Nolan on just before you joined us, and she said odd criticism that she could hear his teeth.
What does that mean?
Think about it.
Fair question.
That you can hear someone's teeth when they talk. Think Rex Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes sense now, right?
No, I mean, I thought he did a great job. As and he's only going to get better. So. Now, I think I focused on I was looking for error, and he didn't show much this last weekend. Yeah.
Cam, you've had 121 and a half sacks in your NFL career, and I am wondering, is there a quarterback you haven't sacked that you're dying to sack, that it keeps you up at night?
Yeah, I'll never get to sack Peyton Manning. It's just one of those ones. I was like, dang, how'd I fall off? I had him, right. And I didn't get to play him at Indianapolis, I don't think. I think Painter took over for that 1 year, and then he went over to Denver, and I think they made me play a 3 technique to nose, and a lot like this year didn't work out successfully for me. When I think about the quarterbacks that I wanted to sack Tom Brady, aka sack number 99 and a half and 100. I'll never sack Drew Brees,
Do you want
so that's 2. Oh, absolutely. What?
I'll do it.
I love hitting all my friends. That is my greatest happiness is plastering one of my friends, from Shane Vereen to if I could ever catch Marv Jones on a slant route, Keenan Allen on a bubble screen. If I can catch one of my friends, we'll talk about it in the group chat.
Walter Payton, Man of the Year, Cam Jordan with us, a man of great decency and generosity.
Absolutely. It's a part of my mentorship program. We went to Cal together, and then if I can hit you, then we'll talk about it and see where you can get better. It's like the thousands of young individuals that are eagerly waiting for a mentor because Old Spice recognizes transformative impact mentorship on their lives. That's what I'm trying to do too.
Okay, you brought up Cal. I wanted to ask you if you were following any of the Cal sort of resurgence this season, like the Calgorithm and all of the fans getting really into AI generated shit posting. What was your thought on all of that?
Go Bears. First of all, we finally got bowl eligible, so I can't say we're doing things right. We're headed into a positive direction.
Do you love the ACC?
So we're doing things right, and we're headed into a positive
Cam Jordan is with us again. January is mentorship month. Visit oldspice.com/School of Swagger. It is a pleasure to watch you work, sir. You are a craftsman of the highest order. I say you're an immortal. Stugotz says you need to have more than 121 sacks to be an immortal.
I'm sorry, Cam.
So what's the number there? Are we thinking 125? And we're both thinking 125, and I'll be there shortly.
125 is the number. You reach 125, which you will by game 4 next year, and you're there, okay?
That's what I'm saying. 125, and then I think the only two guys that have 125 sacks and aren't in the Hall of Fame is DeMarcus Ware and the Sizzler, Terrell Suggs. And they'll probably be in there in the next year or two. So then, again, after 125,
Cam,
I'm going to be looking for a jacket.
Can you explain to us before? Yes, you are going to be looking for one of those. 20% of your sacks are all on Matt Ryan. Can you explain to me, as a lifelong Saint and a metaphorical one in all of the work that you do off of the field, can you explain to everybody listening to this where it is that you are on your legacy, like how it is that you want to be remembered having left this game?
Man, all I want to be remembered as a member of the Saints is to be one of the greatest. And that's on and off the field. The accolades are phenomenal. The fact that I got to over 100 sacks, and in my wildest dreams, I thought I'd get to 30 or 40. And then I just had to dream again. In my wildest dreams, I thought I'd get to 7 years of football. And I was like, I just got to make one Pro Bowl. Dad made 6. I'm sitting at 8. In my wildest dreams, I've thought about man, if my kids could see me play and know that I'm that guy, that'll be all right, and I literally had my son jogging on the field with me towards the end of the season this year for warm-ups. I've lived out my wildest dreams, and I'm just I'm making new missions as I continue, which this idea of legacy is my proudest part. As there's no one play that I can look at and be like, I didn't give it my all. So off the field, that's exactly how I live as well. Whether I'm at home or whether I'm in the community, I'm giving my all. So if I'm in the community, whether it's the backpack drives, it's the schools that I visit, it's the kids that I try and mentor, it's the scholarships that I'm trying to create. It goes hand in hand with my identity, and that's why it's so easy to partner up with brands like Old Spice, because they have a mentorship program as well that you can learn more at www.oldspice.com/School of Swagger.
January is mentorship month. Oldspice.com/School of Swagger. Articulate it as a voice for New Orleans. How much do you hate Atlanta?
You can't articulate some things. Some things you have to feel. And if you ever walk down the streets of New Orleans and ask anybody about a foul can't, you'd realize that they're failed cons.
That's an excellent dismount, sir. Thank you. Thank you. You and your giant hands can leave. You are an assassin. It is nice seeing you. You can indeed kill most people with those giant bare hands. Thank you for being on with us.
With food and balloons.
Yes, with balloons. Balloons, a sandwich.
I'm sorry, Gronk. Hey, you're my dog still, bro.
He gets it. Yeah.
Good seeing you, sir. Thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on.
If you're a pet parent like me, you know about Chewy. When they say they have everything you need to keep your pet healthy and happy, they're not messing around. Oh, look at this good boy and good girl over here taking an early morning siesta after their breakfast with the food we got from Chewy. Hassle-free, with AutoShip. To keep Dopey happy, Chewy offers over 100,000 products from brands my pets love, at prices I love too. Foods, treats, toys, beds, you name it, they've got it. To keep Izzy healthy, Chewy's got me covered with pet prescriptions, insurance, telehealth, vet visits, and even vet clinics rolling out nationwide. My favorite feature? AutoShip. I never run out of essentials like food or litter, and I can update or cancel anytime, so no guilt trips from Dopey or Izzy. And everything ships right to your door in just 1 to 2 days. Oh, and Chewy isn't just for dogs and cats. They've got birds, fish, reptiles, and more covered too. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. Right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/Dan. That's chewy.com/Dan to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/DAN. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yes, Mike?
Have you ever had a fireside conversation during a football Sunday during the winter?
Sure. We don't have a lot of fireplaces down here, but I've had the premise of it.
I wish I could, but it's South Florida. When it gets down to the 60s, we're like, we're bundled up, but certainly no fireplaces. Still too warm for that. But we do have our football Sundays. And one thing that always makes football Sundays good, and I know you've had plenty of experience in your life with this, Miller Time.
Oh, yeah.
Miller Lite makes the winter better. It makes football Sundays better. It makes even hanging out around you better.
Thanks, Mike. That was kind.
I appreciate that. You're my friend. When I have a Miller Lite in my hand, pretty much everybody is my friend because we are like-minded. Because we like beer that actually tastes like beer. Oh, and now, the new year, it's the perfect time to have a Miller Time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. People out there, I want you to listen to me. And Jeremy, you too. Because you know, it hits just different than other light beers. The original light beer since 1975, and still the very best one. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey friends, Jeremy here, and like a lot of you, I imagine, I'm someone who has multiple jobs, wearing multiple hats, working all sorts of different hours throughout the week, and it can be kind of exhausting. Did you know that sleep is actually one of the most important parts of recovery? Whether you're a pro athlete or you're just looking to crush your day, getting the right kind of rest is key, and that's where Sleep Number smart beds come in. Because since 2018, Sleep Number has partnered with the NFL to help elite athletes get the quality sleep they need to perform at their best. In fact, 80% of NFL players sleep on a Sleep Number smart bed. That's unbelievable. Tough workout? The Sleep Number smart bed can be adjusted to suit your needs. Firmer one night, softer the next, giving you the ultimate recovery boost. And let's talk about those sweaty, sleepless nights. I know they happen a lot here in South Florida. Well, the new Climate Cool smart bed adjusts up to 15 degrees cooler on either side with scientifically designed cooling programs to keep you comfortable and undisturbed. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now save 40% on the new special edition smart beds. Ends Monday. Shop a Sleep Number store near you. Sleep Number, official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Don Le Batard.
You have some hot takes today. Joe Chestnut's a fraud.
Oh, he's on fire.
He called
Joseph
Connor
Chestnut.
McDavid overrated before the show.
What the hell was that, Greg?
Yeah, no,
I love it.
Stugotz.
Roy, let me explain it to you. And not that you know more about hockey.
And this
than
is
I do.
coming from a guy that's watched Connor play 6 times.
Right.
If that.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I have some follow-up questions with Greg Cody on a Greg Cody Wednesday, and I'm told we have a Greg Cody Thursday in store as well.
Wow.
Chris Cody,
Whoa.
you mentioned, and we bypassed it, that you are tired of your father's yammering dentist.
God, yes. He was talking earlier about his dentist, and I had to switch dentists from that guy. Because, and I can only imagine how bad it was for you. He knew I was your son, and it was just Dolphins talk out the ass.
Yeah.
And I literally switched dentists.
Did you really?
Yes, because I was just like, too much. I'm like, I have the thing around my mouth that's like, shh, and then he's just like asking me for 2 takes.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it has to be worse for you. You have to admit, he doesn't stop talking.
No, he's a talkative guy, and he asks you direct questions when you're incapable of answering.
They're like, oh, that's no point.
Why does he do that?
I don't think.
I don't know. Dentists do that.
He's not concussion prone. Yeah, he gets a lot of concussions.
Okay, but I agree.
So you're giving him bad two it takes two?
Yes. I'm basically just like, that's true. Whatever he's saying, I'm like, oh, that's a good point.
I want to hear you discuss this with the dental equipment in your mouth.
It's like those the gauze and then that suction thing. It's like, close your mouth.
Did he ever take you to see his Hall of Fame?
Oh boy.
Yes, it's just his office, but yes, I've been back.
No,
there.
I mean the one underneath, the one downstairs.
No.
Yeah.
Go on.
He's got a secret basement.
This guy.
The dentist
Hall
dungeon?
of Fame downstairs.
Because wait, he showed me an office.
That's a horror movie.
It was
right
just an
there.
office. It was on the same
dentist
level.
dungeon? What do you mean underneath
It's not a dungeon. It's a Hall of Fame.
Wait, so he offered for you to see it, and you followed him down into the
You
basement?
can't put it on the pole, Juju.
What?
Do you follow your dentist into the
Dangerous.
dungeon?
No, his office was on the second floor of a building.
Okay.
On the first floor, in what I think used to be a garage,
Right.
he had transformed it into his own personal Hall of Fame. Actually, an interesting guy. He played handball all his life. He was a very accomplished handball player.
I get why this is your dentist.
Yeah, and he he was an original fan of the NBA when it was invented in 1946 or whatever
Right.
that was. So he had all these kind of signed Bob Cousy basketballs. And all kind of stuff. He's an interesting dude. He just retired for a few years ago. So.
What happens to the hall?
Are you winded from talking? Are you winded from talking?
No.
No, he's fine.
Jessica asked me a question in the middle of this while we were talking, and it was a great question. Put it on the poll, Juju. Do you want your dentist to be an accomplished handballer?
I mean, he's a handball player.
Yeah.
I went to an oral surgeon once who was a former Notre Dame offensive lineman who did irreparable damage to my gums. He was
oh my God.
very rough with his hands.
Oh, no.
It's massive hands, I would think.
Yeah. Too big to be
He
a
ripped
dentist.
those wisdom teeth out of my skull.
Right. I understand what you're asking here, Dan. If you're a dentist, you shouldn't put your hands in harm's way.
I'm not.
Right.
No, I'm not even asking that. I'm not asking it. Jessica's making the point just simply.
They're the money makers.
Do you want your dentist to be someone whose hands are hearted by the calloused excellence of having to slam handballs all day? I would want those hands to be gentle, protected, and pristine. I don't want
Like
them
Cam Jordan's.
Like a saxophone player.
No, I want calloused hands.
Really?
Yeah. I want
hands that have lived.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Muscular, callous hands.
Hands that can get bit by accident and they'll survive.
I want an artist. I want someone who can draw well, an accomplished pianist.
He's pulling teeth. He's not, writing a memoir or painting a Renoir.
I have to get to a couple of things here that I have not gotten to today, and I will tell you again that the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody is filled with magical content, much of it on purpose. And laughing until you cough is universally funny, but so is Greg Cody chasing out of his yard an iguana that he describes as an iguana the size of a giant iguana.
Right. What's so weird about that?
I can see it.
You're a
Yeah, I
writer.
see it.
You're a writer, and you said you were chasing an iguana the size of a giant iguana.
Right. I mean, look. Iguanas are all over the place in South Florida. We got iguanas out the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Again, without the ass.
and so some of the iguanas are small.
Right.
They look like lizards almost.
Right.
You know.
Like a scat back.
Yeah. This was an
quick.
iguana that
Yeah.
looked like a dinosaur.
Eckler.
It looked like a dinosaur. It was
Right, that would have been a funnier analogy to use on the show.
with tail. It was about, I would say, 4 to 5 feet.
Right.
Like almost like a human's wingspan.
So how'd the chase go?
Well,
Small human.
I picked up I picked up a golf club, an old Persimmons wood that Paul Frankie had given me.
That was the size of a golf club.
I was just looking.
Paul Frankie?
I was looking up Paul
Hold
Frankie's
on, Paul
name in
Frankie.
my
Hold
notes
on.
because I wanted to bring up the golf club of Paul Frankie
Right.
What
from
is Paul?
1960.
What's Paul Frankie
Yeah, what's
up
Paul
to?
up
Yeah,
to?
R.I.P.
He passed
no.
away. He bequeathed me his clubs. We played golf a couple of times, and he like a lot of people in their 90s, he hit it straight, but only about 50 yards. That was a good drive.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Does the guy in his 90s hit it straight, but only about 50 yards?
Short and straight, and then he gets a bogey on every
Yes,
I want all of you to visualize, Chris Cody, I know you're mortified by this, your father chasing a dinosaur through his swampland of a backyard with a golf club from the 1960s.
Paul
That's
Frankie's.
exactly right.
Yeah, Paul Frankie's.
How'd you befriend Paul Frankie since he was so much older than you?
It couldn't be a less interesting story.
Yes, thank you, Chris. I appreciate you
I'll be the
avoiding it.
judge of that.
It's
Dying to hear it,
precisely
yes.
the reason Billy asked.
My wife and Barbara
Cody,
are
before
lifelong friends.
the show,
That's
Cody,
Paul's
I came in, Cody, before the show. That is a giant iguana.
That's from my backyard.
is
That's what he said.
That's my video
that
from
the
my
size?
backyard.
Is
That's
that-
where
I'll
we
show
live.
it. I took a picture of it. I'll show it
But
to you.
how big? Look at the one on the camera on the video right now.
Is yours bigger?
Can you
I don't
see
have
it
any
from there?
perspective on.
Just look at the
He
thing,
needs a-
man.
he needs Paul
Come on, you know that's a
Frankie's
giant
What do you
one.
need, a
golf club
hand
next
next
to
to
it?
it?
I think that was a little bigger than mine.
Barbara Frankie?
I don't have
And
the
the iguana
perspective.
too. Yeah, that looks a little bigger than mine.
I wanted again, Billy, to talk about what it is that I walked into today.
What's that?
Not elaborations involving Paul Frankie.
Well, and Barbara.
I
Well,
walked.
Barbara is still friends. She's still
She's
in
still
our
kicking.
orbit.
Still with us?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Why didn't Barbara get the clubs?
Right. Are you
not a
sure?
golfer.
Are you sure Paul gave you the clubs? Are you certain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you how you're a golfer, so you would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago, right? When drivers were really small.
Yeah.
The Persimmons Wood driver that I chased the iguana with, the head of the driver was about that big.
Wow.
Yeah.
That big
That's an
really
old
helps.
club.
Really
Were you
helps on
gonna
a
beat the
podcast.
iguana with it?
It
what were
was
you
the
going to
size
do with
of a
it?
small.
It's like to
Club
give the
head.
audience an example. It's like a hybrid face, is what
Yeah,
he's saying.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Is this the Barbara that's married to Jimmy?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. You know Jimmy?
I mean, I didn't think so, but we may have crossed paths.
I prodded the iguana. I would never club an iguana.
The driver head is the size of like a small driver head.
Well, he tried to make that joke poorly in a window that was small and gave up on it halfway through.
Is this the
The smallest
Barbara
the
and
driver
Jimmy?
had.
Okay, that's my iguana.
It's not even that big.
It's big.
Let me
I want to
see.
see.
You don't
let
have
me
any
be the judge
perspective.
of that.
Show the camera.
The other one we just showed was twice as
Men
large.
always think
You
things
got
are
to take
bigger
a
than
picture
they
of it with
really
your
are.
hand. Yeah. Is this the Barbara and Jimmy that have Jennifer as a daughter?
No, how would you know that?
Jenny.
Billy, you can't trample
It's a good
that.
guess. It's a good guess.
You can't trample
so?
that.
His was good too.
I'm not gonna. It's already an invasion of their privacy.
What's the dentist's name? I'm gonna Google handballer.
Did we get to the
dentist.
bottom of the cremation with the ash and a bunch of teeth on top with an eyeball and a
Yeah,
toenail?
they grind it.
Yeah, they grind.
Did we get accurate information of what an urn has in it? You telling me that the urn has teeth in it?
It's all powder by the time it gets to the urn.
Gotta want to
So
earn.
they do the cremation.
He's right.
Well said.
I heard Pablo's episode tomorrow is all about people spreading ashes at sports events, and
What are the
everyone's
odds?
gonna think we did some great synergy there. I didn't
did
know.
not.
Total coincidence.
Oh,
I want to play some sound for you guys of both Nick Saban and Stephen A. Smith. Stugotz, which one do you choose here? Because Stephen A. Smith is doing something that Charles Barkley is doing, that a lot of people are doing, where they're hating on the All-Star game in basketball in a way that makes it feel like they are against the product in a way that's super strong. And so who would you prefer, Stephen A. Smith or Nick Saban? Because Nick Saban had a regret I was not expecting when he was talking about his regrets.
Nick Saban.
Okay, that's too bad because we've got Stephen A. Smith queued up in the preview there that was right in front of you. So here's
Why'd you give me the choice?
So here's Stephen A. Smith.
I wouldn't give a damn if the NBA canceled the All-Star Weekend festivities. It's that bad. And these players, it's unconscionable, and I don't give a damn how they feel about it. I mean, I got a lot of love for a lot of players. I'm not talking about all. I'm not talking about most. But some of them should be ashamed of their damn selves with how they have allowed this event.
They ruined it.
Tarnished. Shannon Sharp, they ruined it. They ruined it. Shannon Sharp, do you know that Jaylen Brown participating last year in the slam dunk contest was the first All-Star to participate in the slam dunk contest since DeAndre Jordan in 2017? Michael Jordan did it 3 times. Kobe Bryant did it. Vince Carter did it. Tracy McGrady did it. Okay? And your man, your GOAT, LeBron James never has. He said he had nothing to prove. It wasn't about that. It was about carrying on the tradition. I called Adam Silver. I called some of his lieutenants. I'm like, why? Why are we wasting our time? I'm telling ESPN, I get paid to cover the sport, and I don't want to go. I'm so disgusted with All-Star Weekend because of what they've done, and it's no fault of the league. Adam Silver is a great commissioner and a great dude, It's the players. Adam Silver is guilty for being nice and caring about the players and caring about appeasing them because he wants them happy and he wants to be a great partner. And they've basically given him the proverbial finger, and that's the whole All-Star Weekend.
Stugotz, I do think it's wildly interesting that at a time the NBA is struggling to progress where ratings are involved, that you have so many voices who love basketball sound like they don't love basketball. When Barkley's saying he's going to boycott the All-Star game because it's rat-infested San Francisco,
Right.
and these are people who really do love basketball, but the favorite part of that for me is Stephen A. Smith really does call the league office to complain about things he doesn't like personally.
I'm pretty certain he told that story just to let everyone know he called Adam Silver. I mean,
But he also said in that piece, we didn't even run it, that we edited some of this out, that he called the league office to tell them how much he objects to what happened to their All-Star game. I just love a receptionist picking up the phone. Somebody picking up the phone at
the office. How may I help you?
Yes, Adam Silver's office, and then all of a sudden it's just Stephen A. Smith yelling about how he doesn't want to go to the All-Star game.
I mean, that's what you use the power for.
And he's also not wrong that that's where we've gotten with the All-Star game. It's not something that matters anymore, but I think it's a byproduct more of just the times that we're in, Stugotz, keeping the attention levels of everybody. You have to care. You have to try. You can't take our attention levels for granted by giving us a product that stinks.
I'm not certain I care about the old All-Star game. So, like, for me, I could do, if all the sports decided, hey, you know what? No more All-Star games, no more All-Star break. Everyone take a couple of days off to a week off. I'd be good with that because I'm not a fan of it anyway. Even in its oldest form, I was never a fan of the Major League Baseball All-Star game or the NBA All-Star game. I like the dunk contest, but that was different. And Stephen A. is right. It is different when it's Jordan and Dominique as opposed to guys you've never heard of.
Stephen A. is right about that. And another point I would make is the three-point contest used to be interesting when everybody wasn't making 10 3-points a game.
Correct. Right. You had Karl Anthony Towns winning a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Last year was like the most successful 3-point thing they've ever done, though, was Sabrina and Steph. So they have innovated.
That was a novelty. That was interesting.
Oh, but we just love complaining so much. I mean, we will complain about anything.
It's fun complaining.
I mean, the dunk contest is worthy of complaining, Dan. It is.
It is.
In its heyday, it was the greatest thing on the sports calendar.
But I will also say that shows that ostensibly love sports, that love to complain about sports more than they love sports, is a place that media members graduate to in their 40s and 50s and 60s that not only dampens intellectual curiosity, but becomes formed as you sit on the rocking chair just bitching about entertainment. Like, I used to be more entertained by this, is like the curmudgeon's lament, and I'm telling you, you have important voices doing this to the league, like voices that are meant to be. They let go of Jeff Van Gundy because he was complaining. Jeff Van Gundy was great for 20 years, and they didn't want negativity as the accent, and you got Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley, the preeminent voices, calling Adam Silver, no offense, love the access to you, your game sucks. It's not your fault, your game sucks. You're a great leader, you've led this, the way you lead it sucks, you're too nice. Like, it's an amazing thing to listen to.
No, you're right, Dan. No one loves to complain more than people that get paid to cover sports. Yep. Oh, this TSA line is too long. Oh, I'm too important to wait behind all these common folk, all these fans that spent their own money to travel for this game that I got to go to for free. I'm just going to cut the whole line because I'm so important and I deserve to cut everyone.
I'm blank.
Not going to tell you.
Oh.
Marty Smith.
Was it Marty?
No.
That's right. It's time for Against the Spread. And it it is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Jeremy, what do you got?
Florida Panthers plus 1.5 against the LA Kings tonight. Kings have lost 3 of 4. Panthers have won 3 of 4. Kings have lost 4 of 5. And how about this one?
What just happened
there? The Panthers on TNT this year on the road 2-0. Tonight on TNT on the road. Make it 3-0. Panthers plus 1.5 against the spread.
Jess, bring us home.
Bills plus 1.5.
Love it. Love it.
I like it.
It's over for the Chiefs. They're totally going to win the Super Bowl now.
Josh Allen has that look.
Stugotz major penalty, 5 minutes for talking about the Chiefs.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yes, Mike?
Have you ever had a fireside conversation during a football Sunday during the winter?
Sure. We don't have a lot of fireplaces down here, but I've had the premise of it.
I wish I could, but it's South Florida. When it gets down to the 60s, we're like, we're bundled up, but certainly no fireplaces. Still too warm for that. But we do have our football Sundays. And one thing that always makes football Sundays good, and I know you've had plenty of experience in your life with this, Miller time.
Oh, yeah.
Miller Lite makes the winter better. It makes football Sundays better. It makes even hanging out around you better.
Thanks, Mike. That was kind.
I appreciate that. You're my friend. When I have a Miller Lite in my hand, pretty much everybody is my friend because we are like-minded. Because we like beer that actually tastes like beer. Oh, and now, the new year, it's the perfect time to have a Miller time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. People out there, I want you to listen to me. And Jeremy, you too. Because you know, it hits just different than other light beers. The original light beer since 1975, and still the very best one. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.